After just one season with the Jets, Brett Favre again saying he's done with football. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz. Glad to be with you here on CBSSports.com. Let's bring in our CBSSports.com NFL columnist Clark Judge to break down this situation again. And Clark, it wasn't even a year ago that we heard Brett Favre emotionally say he's retired. Do you believe him this time that it's final?
Well, I hope he's sincere. The answer is yes, I do. I think watching him in the second half of the season, particularly those last 5 games, you looked at a broken-down quarterback and a guy who didn't have the energy or the enthusiasm that he did the year before in Green Bay. And I think everyone who saw him then looked at each other and said, you know what, it's time to go on, and he knows it. And I think he knows it now.
Clark, do you think he has tarnished his legacy at all, or do you think people are just tired of this story?
Well, I think, he's tarnished his legacy some. That doesn't mean he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame. He will. But, you know, a year ago, people were sad and just said, geez, it's too bad we can't get more Brett Favre. Boy, was he fun to watch. Great. And they celebrated him. Not many people are celebrating him now, Jason. I mean, now there's a feeling that please go away and stay away. Please stay retired. And that's too bad. I feel sorry for him because I think in that essence, he did tarnish his legacy.
What about the Jets here now, Clark? Because that's what the team that has to move forward. I mean, they are exactly in the same position that they were a year ago.
Except no Chad Pennington, you know, and you're right. I mean, now you've got Kellen Clemens and really nobody. And if they believed in Kellen Clemens, he would have been the starter a year ago. It was Mike Tannenbaum who didn't believe in him and went out and got Brett Favre. Okay, well, you know, Mike Tannenbaum's still there as the GM. So is Kellen Clemens as the quarterback. So you got to believe either they go through the draft, where there are really only 2 guys we're talking about, and the Jets aren't going to get either one at 17. So now you look at a trade. What you trade for Matt Castle? The Patriots aren't going to trade him to the Jets. So now it's free agency. Kurt Warner, he's either signing with Arizona or he's going to retire. Jeff Garcia, he's old. I mean, he's an old guy. Kerry Collins, he's an old guy too, but he's probably going to re-sign with Tennessee. So you're starting to look at a second tier of guys like Kyle Bowler, Byron Leftwich, Rex Grossman. The prospects aren't great. I think they would have been better off a year ago if they'd been conducting the search than they are now.
You know, the other name that you didn't get the chance to mention right there is Derek Anderson, who could also be a guy that could be traded. But right. Eric Mangini's not going to trade a guy to the Jets where he just got fired from.
There you go. I mean, they're boxed in. But fortunately, at least, Favre's let him know a lot earlier than he did a year ago with Green Bay. I mean, retired, then he unretired. Hopefully means it this time around because the Jets can push forward at least with a plan to get something going here. Now, keep in mind, you know, I'm not so sure that they have to have a guy who's going to throw 25, 30 touchdown passes there because you've got Rex Ryan and his defense there. They got by on a quarterback who could manage the game in Baltimore. Maybe that's what they're going to have to do here for a year or 2.
Is there anything else you think the Jets need to do here in this offseason? They did not make the playoffs. We know that. And, of course, as you mentioned, they faltered down the stretch those last 5 games going 1-4. What else do they have to address here in the offseason?
Well, I think they're going to have to find another wide receiver, but I think you have to focus on a franchise quarterback. Teams don't get to the top unless you have somebody there who's stable at quarterback. And I think that you learned that lesson with Baltimore. I mean, we think Joe Flacco is going to be a franchise quarterback. He certainly looked at this year, but they stabilized that position. That's why they got to the conference championship game. That's what the Jets are going to have to do, and that's where their work starts this morning.
All right, Clark Judge, thank you very much. We look forward to reading everything that's coming from you here on CBSSports.com throughout the day and the rest of the week. Thanks, buddy.
Jason.
All right, for more from Clark Judge and, of course, Pete Prisco as well, be sure to stay with CBSSports.com throughout the week because, well, Brett Favre's back in the news again. At least it takes away from the Alex Rodriguez steroid story, and we have something else to talk about. For Clark Judge, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.